the 63s, and they cover a wide spectrum of performance bias, so smart.
We talk a lot about tires, so let's go through the basic maintenance of tires.
Okay, we'll talk about tires, but before we go on tires, I think there are a few things that are important in a car. It is the brakes, the tires, the steering, and of course the driver. So it's a very, very wide subject. So these are the key items that you want to look at. But for today, I think we'll talk about tires lah. Okay, and as I said just now, tires are a compromise between wet and dry grip. Okay, so that's the first thing. You have to buy the best tires that you can afford, right? Not the cheapest tires.
Yeah.
So that attitude has to change. And not only fitting the tires on your car, you need to, first of all, get them balanced. Balancing a tire means your car will drive smoothly without the steering wobbling or vibrating, because that will affect the amount of control you have. And after that, it is the wheel alignment. Okay, you must make sure your tires are aligned properly, because wrong alignment can mean, in terms of safety, your grip is compromised.
Yep.
Okay, a wrong alignment can also mean a big dent in your purse, because your tires will wear unevenly.
That's right.
And then your tire life is compromised. But most important is your grip will be compromised if your tires are not properly aligned. Of course, the most basic thing you need to do is check your tire pressure. Nowadays, the tires are quite good, and you should check your tire pressure at least once a month or twice a month. Okay, and if you monitor that the tire pressure is always out, and if it's a one tire, you could have a leaking valve, things like that. This is it's not a set rule to say, oh, YS Khong said you must check your tires once a month, so I check once a month, but 2 weeks later my tire was punctured.
That's
so
right.
I'm not trying to say it is not a hard and set rule, you know.
It's a simple
a simple thing. If you sense that your tires are forever leaking, you might have a nail in it.
Yes.
You know. And so it's like that. Everything is flexible. You have to check your tire pressure. I think as a driver, your prime responsibility is the tire pressure. And then as you drive, you have to observe whether the tire is wearing properly. If it's not wearing properly, you should go to an alignment shop. Now, having said about alignment shop, there are alignment shops and there are alignment shops. You gotta go to a good one. So I'm not here to push
YS tires.
what is good or what is bad. There's no such thing as YS tires. Okay, but
After this,
I'll just make a comment. I think 90% of the people in the tire business don't understand tires, especially wheel alignment. It's a dark art.
It's a dark art.
Yeah, somebody asked me, why is that? So I said, imagine you're a workshop manager, Matthew. Okay, Matthew, you have a workshop with 50 mechanics. What do you do with your worst mechanic? And you ask me, what worst mechanic? The worst mechanic you have, he can't repair cars. You know, he can't do anything. So what do you send him to do? You send him to do tires, right?
I'd probably send him to wash the cars, maybe, if he's not fit to.
No, he can't wash cars because he scratches that. He doesn't know how to do it. So he fits tires. That's the roughest job.
That's probably true.
I might as well fire this guy.
Usually, let's take the car wash out of it, because it takes the fun out of this discussion. Car wash is subcontract. Okay? So the worst mechanic becomes the tire guy, and unfortunately, the alignment comes with the tire job. Compound this with the salesman who sold the machine to him, to the workshop, is a school dropout.
Why are you looking at me?
No, you're not a school dropout. But
I know what you mean.
I'm just saying, you know. So when he sells the machine to the workshop, he tells the workshop guy, you know, all you got to do is key in the make and model, and then you adjust the
according to them.
Arrow. No, not according. It's red or green. Okay, as long as it's in the range, it's green. Green, okay already lah. You know, like that. So if you key in the wrong model, you get wrong numbers. Okay, And
But
then
you'll still get the red and green marking and you'll just blindly
yeah,
follow.
but there's another thing when you set on alignment machine. There's this thing called runout compensation.
Okay.
Runout compensation is very simple. It's actually when you put a ruler to measure something, you start at 0.0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put at 1 inch, what you see here is 10 inches is actually 9.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put the clamp on the wheels, you have to make sure that the reading is correct, because you can have the clamp out by 1 degree or 2 degrees this way or that way.
Mm-hmm.
So the machine has got this feature called a runout compensation. Basically, let's say you have the clamp like this. When you turn this way, the angle changes.
Okay.
When you turn that way, the angle changes. So when you have the clamp on the car, you are supposed to jack up the car. There are two ways lah. Jack up the car and turn the wheel this way and that way. And every time you turn and you stop, a reading is sent to the machine. The newer machines have a roll this way and roll that way with a clamp on. Then you come back to center. And when you do that, the machine actually measures the changes in angle and then does a compensation
Wow.
to give you what is the true reading.
Okay.
So guys, if you go to an alignment shop and the guy just put the clamp on and start adjusting, please go to another shop. You must do this runout compensation. Otherwise, what you're seeing on the machine is actually garbage.
Right.
So it's garbage
It's
in,
just a preset, isn't
garbage
it?
out. Yeah, it's an alignment machine is nothing but a massive ruler. It measures.
Okay.
And if you don't put 0.0 at 0.0, you get rubbish. That's my point. So there are alignment shops and there are alignment shops.
We really should consider the
Yeah,
YS Tyre.
The business model. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
What
you
else?
going to wash the cars? I mean, the
Well, I
tyres.
can offer my expertise, but yeah, sure.
Okay, here's the youngsters today say, wow, boss, negative camber is good. You know?
No,
So-
it's not good.
It's good for cornering. Yes. But remember, everything is up to a point.
Right.
So it doesn't help if you have this little mini car with your tires like that.
Okay.
It looks very cool,
Okay.
but you can't drive.
What do they call that?
I only know Hella Flush.
Okay, something like that.
Something.
We're too old for it.
Yeah. The name actually changes according to the degree of the, well, what do you call that?
Right.
Yeah, so
So everything is up to a point. And then what to set your alignment numbers at, you follow the manufacturers. Yeah. Some people say set 0, everything 0 camber, 0 toe. But I have to disagree with that because you are doing the setting on a car that is static. Okay.
Right. Once.
But you want to have the setting to work when you are dynamic.
yeah, under acceleration, braking,
under acceleration,
turning.
cornering, and
Right,
all.
right.
So there are certain readings that the manufacturer recommends for your
Right.
car. If you don't know anything else, you should follow that.
What about rotation of tires?
yeah,
Okay.
swapping.
The reason why, remember cars with spares? Nowadays they're getting less and less.
Yeah.
So
There's no spare in the car, but anyway.
historically, there are reasons why. In order to get all 5 tires to wear out
Evenly.
evenly,
Right.
the recommendation, if I remember correctly, is the spare tire should go to the front left.
That's right.
Yeah, you know why? Because the front left tire gets worn the highest for right-hand drive countries. Okay, front left.
Why is that?
Because you can turn naturally to the right.
Okay.
People cannot turn naturally to the left. That is why in Batu Tiga track, there's only one
Left,
left corner that's called Milo Hill.
which is one.
Milo Hill. Turn one,
Turn one,
two,
yeah, turn
three.
one.
Turn 3.
Okay.
Turn 1 is Big Corner, turn
Yeah.
2 Caterpillar, turn 3 Milo Hill.
Okay.
Okay. So, I really cannot explain that, but your
Okay.
left tire is the one that wears the most.
Okay. Tend to be in
So,
in a right-hand drive market.
Spare tire goes there.
Right.
Then that tire in the front goes to the back because that's
Okay.
the tire that wears the least.
Okay.
So from the highest wear point, you go to the back.
Right.
Then after that, you move to this side and you
then
move
it
to
goes
that
to that.
side.
Okay.
You know why? Because in the old days, a lot of people didn't do alignment. So you get various degrees of wear
Wear.
on different axles.
Yeah.
So what the tire manufacturer is trying to do, or the car manufacturer, is to try to get you to wear your tires out evenly. So if this side has a camber problem and it wears on the inside, that tire will go to the next tire, to the next side, and it wears on the other side. It gives everybody a fair chance. But nothing beats doing correct alignment. Because what happens to your car is, when your car sits on the road, it forms what I call a footprint. Okay? So, let's say I have a camber that is wrong. If I drive on this tire long enough, the tire will wear this way.
Yeah.
If you put the tire straight, it'll be like that. But when it's on the car, it's flat. That is the footprint. That is the best footprint that gives you the most grip. That's why sometimes when you do alignment, it may take a couple of days or a week before your grip actually improves.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
just when you fit a new tire, the tire shop might tell you, boss, you got to drive carefully, run in the tire first. You know why? Because you got to wear down the pattern until you get a flat. Okay. So if you set the footprint right, you will get 4 contact patches that are maximized. Okay. Now, if I run negative camber on the front for reasons of my own, and then I put the same tires at the back, the tire will wear this way, right?
Yeah.
So when I put it at the back, it actually compromises the footprint.
That's right.
So generally, I do not rotate my tires.
I see.
I set my footprint, the car runs well. When that set of tires wears out, I change. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So that is something which I do. I do not follow the rotation of tire. If you set your alignment right, you don't have to do it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting stuff. The more you learn today.
And tire pressures, if you put a tire needs to have best contact on the road. If you have too much air, it balloons. You just imagine a balloon, okay?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is it's going to wear on the center. Too high a pressure. If you have too low a pressure, the converse happens. The center goes in. Then you see tires wearing on the sides. Okay, so if you look at a car that's moving, that's something a game I play. I look at a car driving on the road in front of me, I look at the tires, then you can see whether if the patch is nice and black evenly, the tire is running correct pressure.
That's right.
If you find that the center is black and the sides are not so black, it means it has got too much tire pressure. But you will seldom find cars with overpressure. You know why?
Very few.
Very few. But you'll find a lot of cars under pressure.
pressure.
You know why?
Because we're lazy.
Because people don't care.
People don't care.
We're lazy.
It's actually the thing they take the most for granted.
Yes.
Sadly to say.
So what happens if your tires are overinflated, you won't have so much grip. But actually it's better to be overinflated than to be underinflated. What happens is when your tire is underinflated, just imagine the rim and imagine the tire. Okay. Now where the rim is closest to the ground, the tire is compressed, right? But as the car turns, the tire becomes decompressed. And as it comes down again, it compresses again. As it leaves, it decompresses. So what's going to happen at the bottom is your tire is doing like that.
Okay.
You take a piece of metal and you keep on doing this. What happens?
It's not snap.
It's going to snap. So if your tires are underinflated, you have this danger of blowouts
Okay.
because of the flexing. When it flexes, there are steel cords and nylon cords in the tire. It creates heat. When it creates heat, then the integrity of the carcass of the tire is compromised. Yeah. So if you drive 5 kilometers to and from work, your tires won't overheat. But if you're going outstation, the least you can do for yourself is to check your tire pressures.
Yeah, before you leave.
Before your balik kampung journey. Right. Very interesting stuff, right? So much to learn. So much I've learned today from Mr. YS.
And just from this cheap thing they call tires.
Yeah.
It's one thing I learned never to compromise because thankfully my dad knows a reputable tire guy which I can rely on. So I'm not part of the play with your phone and drive and not care about car care at all.
Right.
Yeah. So
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness.
It's good to know a young driver on the road who is responsible.
No, I learned to be like a lot. My dad always said drive defensively, and then my mom said, don't, you've got to care for the fools on the road. So,
No, but let me ask you. I mean, growing up,
Yeah.
how did you find? I mean, now that you know what is proper driving is,
Yeah.
and I think you're quite handy.
Thank you.
You grown up?
No, I mean I've seen him on Sepang in front of me, and he knows what he's doing. And I mean, did you learn something from your parents? I mean, did you learn what did you pick up from how?
To be honest, the key thing I took away from my parents when they taught me about basics of driving is to always set the mirrors right. So it's a lot of defensive driving. When you want to make a turn, you look past your B pillars, just a glimpse, just to see whether a car or motorbike is coming up.
For the blind spot, yeah.
Yes, because I'm taught not to trust the rear view mirror, the side mirrors, no matter how big they are.
Yeah.
So basically defensive driving. But when it comes to driving on track and all this intermediate stuff, I don't have an answer. Maybe from
Your father did race off.
no. My dad doesn't race, not like you, Uncle YS.
No. Very few of us have
Racing background.
Yeah, parent who actually are rally champions.
So how do you win the first test I ever did?
I have no idea. Actually,
There was this young man I did my
Oh,
first
no.
event 203,
Yeah.
and there was this young guy from some obscure newspaper that came and beat everybody, and that was when I met Dennis Wong.
yeah, and they're like, who is this guy?
Who is this Dennis Wong?
He didn't even wear proper shoes.
Yeah, to ask you back that question, where did you learn how to drive like that?
Oh, okay. So we all are car enthusiasts, right? And we love driving. So no, I never attended any. But I can say one thing though. I had one of the best driving instructor ever. He's passed on.
Oh,
But he taught this driving instructor lived near my house, and he taught both my sister and myself how to drive. I don't think my dad was very good at teaching because he would just lose patience after a while. But we had a really good driving instructor. I mean, you mentioned
You
that
mean a driving school instructor?
driving school
Yeah,
instructor,
yeah.
and I still remember that he was really patient with me because what you want to do and what you can achieve can be two different things.
Yeah.
And the first time when you actually press on the clutch and you realize you can't modulate it, right? And you go through 10 times, not actually, basically the car dying on you.
yeah.
And so he took me to a deserted back lane. I mean, let's not think otherwise. But
Yeah, let's not
yeah,
go
you
there.
know,
back
old
lane
man
and
with
stuff.
young boy. No, not
back
what you
lane.
think. But he took me to a back lane just near my house, and because there was no traffic there, he just said, "Okay, Dennis, we're going to spend the next as long as we need to get you to release the clutch properly." And from that day onwards, I could release the clutch properly, and that's how he taught. And he was also very patient.
You don't get a lot of instructors like that these days.
I don't know. I passed the first time. But another key point was that, and I told this story to quite a few people over the years, is that when it came to taking the test, and I did it in state PJ. So both my sisters under him, and they passed without having to pay any additional fees,
Under people.
professional fees to certain
To
people.
pass.
Yeah, and when it came to me, I asked him. I said because my parents said maybe you should ask the instructor what you should do because that time was quite rampant already. Right, this more than 20 over years.
It still is very rampant.
It's still I don't know. I mean, did you get your license?
Oh, I passed without bribing. Yeah, legitimately.
Okay,
Let's put the word out there, bribing.
Okay, you passed without bribing.
Yes,
Okay,
I passed without bribing.
So I asked him, and he said no, don't worry. I think you're good enough, and I passed, and I passed, and I was ecstatic. I mean, it was one of the happiest day of my life because, it's I mean, I did
You
it
don't
without.
have to drive illegally anymore.
Yes. Yeah. No, I never. No, I never did. So yeah, my driving instructor was he taught me all the correct basics, and then he said that you're good enough. You do not need to pay anything to anyone, and sure enough,
Take the test and
yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Yeah, a lot of the instructors, I've heard this from my friends, my brother, my younger brothers and his friends, that when they go for driving tests and all that, right, basically they were left to themselves. In a closed circuit, just drive around until you master these obstacles. So three obstacles. All they needed to do to learn about driving was to properly execute what was needed of them to do.
3-point turn,
Yeah.
hold the car on a slope.
Yeah.
hold the car on the slope.
What's the third one?
Side parking,
Side
right?
parking.
Side
Yeah.
parking.
Yeah, I remember.
Side parking, L parking as
You
well.
reverse until you see the stick in your
Yeah, there was a formula. There was a
third,
formula.
Yes.
third
Yeah.
pillar, then you full lock and you do this and you do
It's
that.
as if every side parking comes with a pillar for you to, to help you, right?
See, the problem
Yeah,
is
no.
I feel that the driving schools teach you how to pass the test. They don't teach you how to drive.
Yeah.
I
It's
wish
become a business.
it could be more than that.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And then somebody asked me, why don't you start an advanced driving school? And I said, I can't. Why? You can't make money. Why? Because everybody thinks they are God's gift to driving. That's why.
Yeah, because once they get the license, they
That's
they
it.
don't. Yeah, it stops
They don't
there.
go any further. And that is the tragedy of it.